Well, hi everyone. Welcome to our daily devotional this morning. I hope you had a good weekend and benefited greatly from the Sabbath day's worship. We return this morning to Psalm 12, which we were looking at on Friday. We saw back then the sad phenomena that the psalmist looked around his society, his community, and he noticed that there were very few godly people making any kind of an impact upon society. So much so that he says it's as though the godly man is gone, vanished from among the children of men. So few believers. And one of the results of that was that society was full of deceit and people telling lies. Deceitfulness was flourishing. That's very true. Where Christian influence is absent, lies abound. In verse 2, the psalmist speaks about everyone uttering lies to his neighbour. Another translation is empty talk, no substance to it whatsoever, devoid of any truth. He then speaks of flattering lips, people saying things just to impress others or to get on the good side of those to whom they are speaking. He then goes on to mention a double heart. In other words, not someone you can trust because you don't know whether they are sincere and truthful in what they're saying. This was what the psalmist saw as he looked around his society in his day. And just as the absence of godly people and godly influence produced a lying, deceitful, untrustworthy society then, that is what it is producing today. Lying is endemic in our society. It's the native language of a fallen, sinful world. It's the native language of fallen, sinful people around us. And the reason it is the native language of unsaved men and women is because it is the language of the devil. You remember in Genesis 3, the first thing that the snake says to Eve is a lie. Has God said, "You will die"? You will not surely die. Jesus speaks of the devil as the father of lies. And this is his natural language. We see that in John chapter 8 and verse 44. Turn that up and read it. Lying comes naturally to unsaved people. We see that in our politicians. They know rightly that they have no intention of fulfilling all their manifesto promises. They word their promises in such a way as to give them an escape route when they are not able to fulfill them. You know the old saying, how do you know that a politician is telling lies? And the answer is, their lips are moving. Think of the lies that we have heard our politicians tell us over the years here in Northern Ireland. Think of the lies that we have heard from Westminster, from former prime ministers. Think of the spin doctors that are employed in order to put a good spin on statements that are being made. They need spin doctors because they want lies to sound like the truth. And it's not just in our own society, it's true all over the world. United States, China, Russia, everywhere. Advertising is full of deceit, telling you lies to try and get you to buy products. Think of the phone scams that are taking place and costing billions of pounds every year. People on the phone telling you lies. Think of the lives of deceit that exist among those who are celebrities. Think of the lies and the deceit in sport. Think of the lies between family members. You even get lying in church, the health and wealth preachers who tell you that if you send them £10 or $10 that the Lord will reimburse you 10 times over. Lies, total lies. Think of the lying that takes place in so-called healing services, where people's legs are meant to grow longer, where people who haven't been able to walk are able to walk. Lies, most of it. Brethren, in such a society, we who are God's people must guard against falling into society's ways. We must make sure that we are people of truth. We must make sure that we speak the truth in love. It's not easy. For us, it's a new language. Our native language is lying. But when we become believers, we have to learn a new language. Any of you who have tried to learn French or Spanish or German or some other language will know that it's difficult. But the more you give yourself to it, the more competent you become. The more you surround yourself with someone who speaks, or with people who speak that particular language, then the more you yourself will be able to speak that language. I remember when I was studying French, I spent a week or more in a French university. And by the end of that week, my ability to speak French had improved tenfold. And so it is with speaking the truth. Psalm 41 says, "Set a guard over my mouth, O Lord. Keep watch over the door of my lips." In a society that is full of lying, let us be men and women of the truth. Men and women whose word can be completely depended upon. May God grant that it will be so. Have a great day.